Welcome back on this glorious and challenging day. If you are an individual like many that haven't sorted out a lot of stuff, you will get angry. And if you're looking for a quick band-aid before you go to therapy, not for anger management, like I spoke about in the other YouTube clip, I spoke about anger elimination because one should not manage debt. One should not manage nonsense. One should eliminate, dissolve, and get rid of things that don't belong in your life. Here is what I found, because I used to be a very angry person, filled with emotions, and it was very easy to get me angry. And one thing I have learned myself from my mistakes, I have learned from me, is that words are like fuel to the emotion of anger. Let me say it one more time. Words are fuel to emotional anger. If you're in a household and you're angry at someone, you're angry at a few people, you could say, I am very angry right now and I don't want this to get out of hand. I will leave the house for 10-15 minutes or go to my room for 10-15 minutes, and then maybe I might verbalize what's bothering me. Do not express your upsetness when you're angry, because it will give you an illusion of a good feeling. But to many people, when they begin to open up their mouth, their anger gets out of control, and in most cases, they will say things that they regret afterwards. It didn't come from their prefrontal cortex, which is logical and understands about an action and reaction, understands there's a price to pay for everything that comes out of your mouth. This anger came from the amygdala, that there's no rules. There is no rules. You could say the most pathetic, stupid thing that you, as an individual that's angry, will pay later on. So very simple. You don't have to have any tools in the world at this point till you go into therapy. Help yourself. Just don't talk. No. I'm not saying to suppress your feelings. No. I'll tell you something else. Something that has worked for me personally. Amazing. I have so many stories, but I'll be very brief. Hasn't happened in maybe years. But when a situation arises in my life with a teacher, with a school, with a principal, I got so frustrated and I used to run to the computer to write an email. And I made up a rule in my life. You could write whatever you want. You could get angry with your fingers as much as you want. And then when you're done with the email, please look at the clock and say, I will send this email in 24 hours. Oh, I want to send it now because there's nothing in there that's wrong. Everything I said is right and this person is here. I get it. Nothing will happen if you wait 24 hours, but one thing will happen is that you will save yourself a lot. This happened to me several times in my life. I don't think I ever had to wait 24 hours. It was usually within 5 hours to 10 hours. I go, nah. Sometimes I read the email and I go, wow, this reminds me of my analogy of anger. Anger is like a little black balloon that's the size of my pinky. Any one of you take a black balloon the size of your pinky, put it right over here. You could see your pinky, you can notice there's something there more than your nose. It does not block your eyesight or your judgment. Take this little tiny balloon the size of a pinky, inflate it. The balloon usually goes about 2-3 inches on both sides. Now this black balloon is inflated up to here. You have no eyesight. You feel like you're out of control. You can't see logic. You can't connect to logic, and logic is out of your eyesight. It is in those moments that we make the greatest mistake. What happens just if you do not talk? Better take a walk, brisk walk, or even without a walk, watch what's happening to the balloon, the black balloon. Over a few minutes, or usually a few hours, it starts deflating. So when I personally look at my email that I have written 10 hours ago, I go, holy crap, thanks the Lord I didn't send it. I don't think ever in my lifetime did I send an email that I wrote out of anger after 24 hours. Very few times I sucked out 90% of garbage in there, and I was polite and I was diplomatic, and I try not to write the word you. I just wrote basically, regarding to what happened 2 days ago, I felt this and this way. And I usually like to finish up with a question. How did you see from your side? Blah, blah, blah. We could go on and on. Words to anger is like gas to a fire. If you liked any of this content, you already know what I'm going to say. But one thing, even if you know what I'm going to say, I'll say it again. Always, please do remember that you are way greater than you think you are. And if there's things you don't like about you, that's not you. That's the dust on top of the diamond. That can be removed. But your purity and your diamond and your goodness could never, ever be bad. All the very best. And thank you for remembering that you are way greater than you think you are.